Hey guys, Dom from the Geek Duo here, and today I'll be bringing you my reaction to My Hero Academia Vigilantes Season 2, Episode 1, titled Day Tripping Down to Naniwa. Pop gets invited to a mascot idol event in Osaka, and Koichi accompanies her. So, I have absolutely no idea what to expect from this season. Um, I'm pretty sure that it's finished by the time I'm starting to record this, because there are 10 episodes out, and there's been 10 episodes for a couple weeks now. So, pretty sure that it's done. That or they're taking a break just before the end. But I don't see any, what's it called? Uh, Upcoming episodes. Then again, oh wait, no, that's the English version. So yeah, it has been out for a few weeks. Um, so I don't know anything about this second season. I knew the B girl, some of the side characters, and all that for season one. I knew about Koichi's sister. I knew about the ones from the other school in Pop Steps fan club. I knew um, Aizawa was a part of it and everything. But the overall plot, I didn't know. This one, I know absolutely nothing. Well, no, that's not true, because based on the thumbnails, this delves into Oboro. And if you watch my reaction to the main series, you know I know that, so. Partially because it was touched upon in that, but I knew the full thing, or at least majority of the full thing. Um, but yeah, and apparently just based off thumbnails, this season gets into that, so that I know about, but any main issue or anything, no clue. So, yeah, it's interesting going into a My Hero thing completely blind. But let's get this started in three, two, one, go. 1 second. Um, why did it do that? I don't know why that happened, but I don't know why it jumped forward when I restarted, but was Hawks even active back then? Or are these shots of the modern day heroes? That Koichi is talking. Now that the main series is done, I never saw Koichi during the cleanup. I saw him in the manga, but after the final war, I didn't see him in the anime. Hmm. They can also deal with wrongdoers in a way that heroes can't. I wonder how many blink and you miss it details are going to be in this opening. Completely different vibe to what the first opening was. Oh, he's going to be a part of this. Also, Midnight, Fat Gum. That character was in the thumbnail for this episode, so. Was Midnight in the last season? I don't remember. Because if I remember correctly, she's a couple years younger than Aizawa in that. Maybe this was. She's the one that I thought was still at UA during the first season. Um, because this is back when, not long after Midoriya was told that he wouldn't have a quirk. So, as we saw with Inko in season 1. So these are all staying as a collective, eh? Well, you were correct about that. Not quite. Okay, that actually is what happened. Dang it, Koichi. You're definitely not catching a train with your powers. What hijinks are gonna happen on the train? How the fuck did you beat the train there? Did you, like, manage to grab on top? Okay, yes. He did manage to. Yeah, his quirk's been evolving. It's not just sliding anymore, it's, the way I understand his quirk, just from what we saw in season 1, it's not so much frictionless sliding, it's being able to attract and repel. sort of basically what Spider-Man does on a molecular level with his little sticky fingers. How he can manipulate molecular bonds like that. I think that's what Koichi has. And the magnet there sort of like reinforces that idea in my head. Hmm. Yes, wall crawling. That bounced off someone. That's not. Oh, not the food. The tender tank. That's a nice way to describe him. Oh, the force of a bullet reapplied? Nice. I don't think he could eat. Oh. But what about the one that he'd already eaten? Hmm. Is he meant to be acting as security for the idol thing? Is this how Fat Gum gets involved with Trigger for the investigation in the main series? Or is Trigger pretty much done from the first season? And there's like a different overarching. Yes, this crab girl's the one that's in the thumbnail that I pointed out in the opening as well. At least I think that's meant to be a crab look. Hmm. I like her. You're gonna get hit. Okay. Hmm. If this is related to Trigger, you're probably not going to catch it on. Is that because you suspect her from the fact that they don't really hide the fact that she's involved? Or is it because she was at the last major event? I do like the little ringleader addition to her costume. I don't remember if I mentioned that last season. Don't you also want to catch what some of the other idols are doing so you can see what your future competition is? I was expecting her to fall over on the little stilts. Someone's still in that mech. I mean, I've had days like that. To be fair, I don't know if that is the implication that I thought it was. I looked away when he was saying, like, hurry back. And then she's like, we'll see what's in the cards, so. That's alright. I was expecting Knuckle Duster. Well, at least that doesn't count as a heteromorph quirk. Hey, I recognize that hair clip. It'll be nice seeing Midnight again. Well, they changed their tune very quickly. Regular trigger makes people go nuts. Trigger mixed with a bunch of other stuff? Yeah, no, that'd be a nightmare. Oh, we don't need to hear about your little grasshopper jumping. Pop, what are you doing in there? So it's related to the crab thing, eh? Or is that a red herring? Hmm. I know that's suspicious. Hmm. Okay. Not what I thought. And what if they are just crap? Put your gun away. Really? And that would explain why she's also in the next thumbnail. So her thing's over multiple. Okay. I was sort of expecting her to be like a new supporting character, like the high school students from the last one. No, middle school students, I think they were. Um, but if she's a police officer, she could be a supporting character in a different way. Not what I expected. I fully expected it to be a red herring, and her just disappearing was doubling down on that. But now her being an undercover cop would explain why she disappears in the middle of events. We didn't get Knuckle Duster this entire episode. Okay, there's a giant armadillo. Is that just for the ending, or is there actually going to be a giant armadillo person this season? Oh, she's not the only one with a crab mech. Okay. Um, it was a fun first episode. It wasn't really too much because it's part one of two. Um, at least I'm assuming of two. Might be more, probably not, but getting to see Fat Gum, getting to see Midnight, um, was nice. The further evolution of Koichi's powers from where we started, where he was able to go at like a moderate bike pace to then speeding up a lot over the season to being able to do it with less points of contact to now being able to stick to things. Um, I'm pretty sure at one point he did push off the air. Um, I don't remember if that was actually what happened though, or if that's just what I misinterpreted the scene of. So that'd be another. So yeah, I really do think that his quirk isn't so much the frictionless sliding. It's like the attraction and repulsion of like his hands and feet to surfaces. Like there are. I point this to Spider-Man mainly because that is been largely said as Horikochi's favorite superhero, and you see it a lot with like Midoriya in the main series. How many similarities you got? Zero, you've got Lariat, multiple web slingers, Aizawa in a sense. You've got the danger sense and all of that, super strength despite the small, unassuming frame and all of that. And they're like, so having this wall crawler, as he outright called himself in this episode when he was sticking to the sign, being that it's manipulating molecular bonds between his body and surfaces, does make sense for because that was never really a way that he could put into Midoriya. Um, Now Peter never actually got to the point where he'd be able to like frictionless slide. His was more manipulating it in one way, whereas Koichi seems to have it both ways. But I wonder if he'd ever be able to do what we've seen Spider-Man do in some of the darker comics, where he's able to like stick to people. I don't think he ever would. He might accidentally, but because he didn't mean to trigger it on the train. Um, but yeah. Um, what I was gonna say, I mentioned that this episode had no Knuckle Duster, and I also mentioned that I'm recording this on the 16th of March. And the English version for episode 10 came out on the 10th of March, meaning that 2 weeks before that, the Japanese version came out. So this season's been done for about 3 weeks now. So I see that episode 5 is The Man Returns with a very haggard looking Knuckle Duster. I assumed that that was going to be like maybe the first time he returns to like Koichi and Popstep, but we see him over the course of the season just doing his own thing. Like maybe we see him at his daughter's bedside or his wife's bedside, or maybe we see him out like we saw Aizawa here doing some solo work while those two do their idol thing and all of that. But if we're not going to get him till episode 5, that really does change up the dynamic of this almost first half of the season. But we'll just have to see. Next week we're going to get the second part of this episode. I do like the Crab Girl. I wonder what her quirk is. And if she's like a continual character or if she's just for this arc. The fact that I was about to say the fact that Aizawa is looking at one end of this investigation and Koichi is on the other end of the investigation was coincidental. But then I remember there's a full scene of Koichi asking Aizawa to join in on this operation. So it's not coincidental, it's entirely purposeful. And we just saw that end mention the crab before we got the reveal in the like main part of it. I was not expecting a erectile dysfunction joke in this show. Was not expecting that. Um yeah, I've got nothing else to say on that. It's just not what I expected, so. But I'm rambling at this point, so I'm gonna end this one here. I'll catch you in the next one.